Akila, the session is being recorded, no?
Yeah, it is. It will be. Jayakishore will be switching on his side.
Maybe I'll switch my video at the end once the session is over.
Hi all. Welcome to the Wiz Talk third session. And today we have a very interesting topic and a great speaker with us. So, believe you can all hear me?
Yeah.
Great.
Yes, we could hear you.
Great. So, let me introduce the speaker of the day, Mr. Bhuvan, who is a program manager at Bosch in Coimbatore. He has an overall 15 years plus experience in varied industries and in the verticals of project management, people management, R&D, and he is closely associated with PMI Chennai chapter, and he is currently the AVP outreach, and he covers the regions of Tamil Nadu and Pondicherry. He is an active volunteer at PMI CSR wing, that is a PMI Educational Foundation, and the affiliate projects such as, and he is as well an acclaimed PMI India Star Volunteer of 2019-20. He is a great trainer and he has been associated with PMI Kerala chapter as well for PMP certification trainings, and he has also done general project management trainings, and he's an academic mentor and coach for schools and colleges also into this project management practices and professionals work ethics. He is as well co-authored a book on project management for students in the Tamil language, and it's available on the Amazon. He's a fluent speaker in German and got a master's degree in telecom engineering from Germany. So we have a very interesting topic, and over to you, Bhuvan, to take up today's session.
Yeah. So, good evening, everyone. Hope you're able to hear me.
Yes.
Beautiful, and you're able to see my slide also.
Yeah.
Beautiful. So, good evening again, and I'm looking at the time, and this is a Wiz Talk session. That means we have maximum 30 minutes, and considering all the buffer, I have the onerous challenge of presenting whatever I have to within a very short time. So, the topic, let me see you fail. Practical tips for losing your best employees. Some of you would be wondering, is this topic really real? Am I going to tell you how to lose your best employees or how not to? The truth is, yes, I'm going to talk about how to lose your best employees, how to see them curse you, how to make them really, how to say, fail. Most of the time, we talk about people leadership, the goody goody factor, right? You have to be nice to your employees, you have to love them, you have to like them, you have to make them like you. But a very often forgotten facet is tough love. Sometimes you do not have to be just good to your employees visibly. You also have to do what is right and what is good for them, not just behave in a manner that is good to them. So this session, basically, I'm going to discuss about how to show this real care and tough love to your employees. And this will be the session on that. So a quick disclaimer, some of the tips I'm going to share with you today, this is strictly to be followed only at your workplace with your team members, not at home. And any physical danger that you may incur by following these tips with your spouse, I'm really sorry, I'm not responsible for it. So before we start, very quickly on the chat box, you could type 1, 2, or 3 depending on your energy levels. And maybe Akila can tell me what energy level is overall. You have high energy now, 1, or very low energy, 3? You can start typing on the chat box. So, quick. So, Akila, what is the energy level now of the team generally, of the participants? Well, I'm seeing quite a lot of ones. It's quite late in the evening, so 8 o'clock at the end of a very heavy, hectic day. Let's move ahead. Now, I would request those of you who have the option of having a paper and pen next to you to use that. Otherwise, you can do mental mathematics. I'm going to ask you a set of 6 questions. You do not have to type anything now. So when I ask you these questions for each of them, if the answer is yes, you can mark a 1 on your notepad or inside your head. If you do not have a pen and paper, it's fine. At the end of the 6th question, just sum up all these ones that you get and then type the final score. Do not type now. If the answer is yes, right, just mark a 1 and then the final score at the end of the 6th question alone, please type on the chat box and let's see. So the first question, do you want your associates to fail? Do you want your associates to fail? Answer is yes, 1. No, don't mark anything, 0. Second, do you want your associates to curse you? Well, do you want them to curse you? Then, do you want your associates to leave your team or organization? Do you want your associates to leave your team or organization? You will see that it's not reverse logic. Actually, I can tell you why you should actually make them do all these things. Now to the second set of questions. The fourth question, are you a dad at work? Are you a dad? Dad means father. Are you a father at work? Do you discipline your child? Discipline need not only mean you're spanking your child, you also are giving some punishments to your child in the good interests of the child. Do you do that? And last question, after this you can type your overall score out of 6. Do you like monkeys? So do you like really monkeys? Then you add a 1 to it. Now, very quickly, please type in your overall score out of 6. 6 is the maximum, so don't give a 7 or 8. So let's see who gets the highest score. Wow, I'm not seeing more than 3 here. Maybe Akila can help me reading the highest score so far. I have not seen more than 3.
Yeah.
Wonderful. 3, 2, 1. Thankfully, no zeros, because I would be really disappointed if you type a 0, because everyone likes monkeys. At least for that question, you must type a 1. Oh, I see a
We
0.
got 1 0.
Oh God. So there is someone who does not like monkeys. Oh, I'm really very disappointed. No problem. All right. Beautiful. Nice. There are lots of monkey haters here. Oh God, oh God. So let's move to the next slide. You can keep typing the answers, your final score. Let's move. We have a short time here. So before we get into this, the actual tips, let me give you a quick backstory, a very small flashback. Unfortunately, I could not get this mosquito or repellent, the round coil, right, for a flashback. So let's give me a very short flashback. About 3 or 4 years back, I was given a project, and basically this was a project that our counterparts abroad did not want to do because there was a high chance of failure. And they clearly told us, we expect you guys to fail anyway because there is not much scope. But if you fail, we can shield you. So we are just moving the project to you to India so that we have a scapegoat. If you fail, do not worry. We were not expected to succeed, and we had no team also. We formed the team by taking people from multiple other projects. So other projects use this as an opportunity to push those people whom they considered as low performers, not really the star performers. They use this as an opportunity to send them out. So they put them in our team, in my team, basically. So this project started with such a group of people. Believe me, they were all good performers. They were only considered poor performers. They were actually very good in attitude. And something strange happened. During the entire duration of the project, it was very well known that the task was an unpalatable one. It was not a challenging task. It was just some reverse engineering process. There were no on-site opportunities. There were really not much visibility opportunities. So people thought it was a punishment to work in the project. Whenever someone had to be punished, they were pushed into the project. So the motivation level technically appeared to be low. And whenever associate satisfaction survey came, I usually got a red. Always, Bhuvan is not a good manager. He is not a good people leader. We don't get any opportunities for on-site. No appreciation. Bhuvan does not come and pat us on the shoulder. Bhuvan does not stand up and clap on the floor. No appreciation trees. all red feedback. And some managers around me, they got all green feedbacks. So they were the managers who used to go for outings a lot. They used to do all the goody things with the managers. But two strange things happened. First, during the entire period of the project, not a single resignation happened. When all around me, there were people resigning and leaving for all reasons. Not a single resignation. And the second thing, this was one of the rare occasions where we bet the triple constraint of scope, schedule, and time. The 18-month project we finished in 15 months. We delivered consuming not more than 85 or 90% of the budget. And though it was only reverse engineering the process, we also did some additional development work on top of our work to supply to other products. It may sound impossible, but believe me, sometimes triple constraints can be broken. So, what was it that happened in our team during this period of 15 months where, despite all the cribbing negative reviews about their manager, still people chose not to leave the team? The biggest thing is when the project was over, when we had a new organization, many of the people who worked under me, they were taken up for first level leadership or management roles. Where there was a difficulty finding leaders, there were many people from my team who actually filled in these positions because they had gone through the grind working with me in this project. So, what are some of the things that happened? So, that's what this session is all about. Let's see the first one. मेरा नंबर कब आएगा? Sorry for my Hindi pronunciation. I'm out and out Madrasi, South Indian. My Hindi is not really good. Pardon me for my pronunciation. मेरा नंबर कब आएगा? First thing we did is we never bothered about the seniority of the people. We just said, hey, you have only 1 year experience. No, it doesn't matter. We made people at all levels, mainly the junior levels, also take up higher leadership roles, including facing the customer. There were people with 2 years of experience who faced the customer and they succeeded. They were given planning responsibility. They were given tracking responsibility. It was a self-organizing team. And believe me, I'm talking about 3 years back when Agile was still in its infancy in our team, in our organization. So people never had to wait for so many years to take leadership roles. They were given in very early stages and they came out on top. And quite related to this, I want to see you fail first. So the best way we appreciated people doing good work was to dump more and more challenging work. So whenever a person joined the team, or whenever someone was put in a new role, I always used to tell them, hey, welcome to the team. I want to see you fail. Hey, go and wait. You mean succeed? No. I want to see you fail. My first role as a leader is to make you fail, to see you fail. Why? Because the more and more you fail, I will know what your limit is. You keep on succeeding, and the moment you fail, I know that is your limit. And together as a team, we will work for you to succeed and push the limit further. So never try to see your team members succeed. Keep making them fail so that you will find the limit and you can push it. And the reward for good work should be tougher work, should be to see more failure. This is something we did. And some blunt talk. I'm not very interested in your facts. Means whenever team members used to come and say, Bhuvan, that is not working, this hardware is not working, some other team members or outside teams are not supporting us, not giving inputs, what to do? My answer used to be simple. If I give you all the answers, my kid who is in third standard can also do this work. What the heck are you there for in the team? You're not here to state facts. Sure, you don't have the inputs. Sure, you don't have the equipment. Sure, you don't have many things. If everything is given in a platter, we as project managers, we as professionals, we as engineers will not have a job. So, your job, my job, is not to state facts. It is to see what you can do with these facts. How can you move? What next? Then, I'm not here to babysit you. It is your decision. Meaning, whenever people used to come and ask me for a decision, I used to tell them, Beta, I get X lakhs per year as a salary, you get Y lakhs as salary per year. So why do you want me to do your job? You get your salary for taking your decision. If I take your decisions, can you give me your salary? No. I want you to live and die by your decisions. I want you to suffer for your decisions. I don't want to take a decision for you and you suffer for that. It is okay. There are no right or wrong decisions. There are only timely decisions. You take a decision, you fail. The blame is mine because I put you in that situation. So I knew you were too early for this role. It's okay if you fail. The blame is mine. But if you succeed, the credit is all yours. Despite the lack of experience, you have succeeded. I cushion your failures if you take a wrong decision. Please practice taking decisions. Please experience failures. So it is your decision, not mine. I don't carry your monkeys. You carry mine. So for those of you who said you like monkeys, here it is. Way back in 1974, there was a beautiful research done and an article written on Harvard Business Review. It was republished in 1999. They say whenever you get a task that you're responsible for, it is like one additional monkey on your back. So, as professionals, our job should be to carry as few monkeys on our back as possible. Delegation, the beautiful word. Delegation basically means you move the monkeys from your back to someone else's back and you do not take someone else's monkey. For example, someone comes to me and says, "Hey, Bhuvan, I have this problem. Can you help me?" I would help them only to the extent where they get some idea and solve it themselves. The moment you start solving problems for them, you are taking their monkey on your back. And as a leader, as I told you earlier, you load them with tasks that are beyond their age and experience. Only then they can succeed, only then they can learn. Learn to carry very few monkeys, learn to move your monkeys to them. Do not, never ever carry their monkeys on your back. There is a big difference between giving people responsibility and task. You delegate people, you delegate your tasks to people, it means you are giving them responsibility. Otherwise, you split all the work, you give them tasks, they will never succeed. So, responsibility should be given, tasks never. And the last one, whenever team members wanted to leave, I used to discuss with them, hey, why are you leaving and everything? But if I find somewhere that they can blossom out better, it could be outside the organization, it could be outside my team, but within the same organization. After I have tried a lot trying to fit them in other tasks in my team, if I find really sorry actually that I can't offer them any new task, I never would give them false promise. Don't worry, wait for some time, I will give you. No, leave immediately, better leave. If you can spread your wings out and leave to other teams and succeed, great. This is like children. Have you ever felt bad that your son or daughter achieves much better than you ever imagined? Never. We always feel happy when our children achieve much higher than we could ever imagine. Our team members are like our children. So do not hold them back. If within your team they can't blossom anymore, grow them wings, help them grow wings. But those wings, if they cannot flutter within your team, please release them, let them go. So this basically are the 6 basic principles that I have used. And never fall into what we call as the kumbaya trap. For those of you who do not know what kumbaya is, I'll tell you, kumbaya is a feel good factor. Most of you know this. Goody goody. I go to outings. You know what? I always stand up in my team meetings and clap. No, no, no. This kumbaya factor, right? The feel good factor and everything, it's all good. But what your team members really would appreciate are not some claps or green feedback or some, hey, great, great, let's go have a pizza, have a beer. What they expect is real care from you. So never fall into the kumbaya trap. Now, fine. Do you think this will work if you do only these? Absolutely not. Such visible displays of tough leadership, bad, for example, activities or seemingly bad activities, they will only work if you have some other factors behind you. You cannot just talk rudely to people. You cannot tell people, leave my team. You cannot tell the people, I want to see you fail. You cannot do all these things unless you also have something else. Only then, whatever I told you in the previous section will work. What are those? The first and foremost, credibility. You should give people the belief that whatever you are doing is for their wellness sake. You punish your kid, there is a good reason behind it. So that credibility you must have, the real care. At least 1 or 2 examples you must give to show to them that you really care about them visibly. Then you can do all the tough love. And then give them what they need, not what they want. When your kid asks for ice cream, you don't give them. You never give your kid what they want. You only give them what they need as a good parent. Why should it be any different even within your team? So give them what they need, not what they want. And when they start realizing that they are getting everything that they need as professionals, they will not worry about how you are treating them outwardly. Letting go. As I said, not blindly letting them go. Make sure that they can blossom, they have grown their wings. The moment they have grown their wings, you cannot give anything in your team, send them out so they can blossom. And tomorrow they call you, hey, Bhuvan, I am in this X organization, I've achieved so much success. And all this was possible only after I left your team. Don't feel bad. Feel proud, feel very happy that the moment they left your team, they have blossomed. You have played a very huge role in their success by letting them go. Give them a shoulder to cry. There will be times when people want to curse you, they will want to cry. In meetings, team meetings within closed doors, in private with you, allow them. Just like you will do with your kids, you will do with your spouse, give them a shoulder to cry. They should express their emotions to you as much as possible. Only then they will be able to take all the tough love. Finally, a good leader is one who creates more leaders. You burn as a candle and you give it to your team members. Remember this always. You are not there to order them about. Basically, you exist because of them. That's leadership. They don't exist because of you. So, a good leader always creates more leaders. This is the purpose. As long as you have this very high purpose in your heart, you will do a great job showing what you call as tough love. So please don't mistake me. The aim is not to make your team members just curse you and leave your team. The aim is to show them real credibility that you are treating them as you treat your children. Show them real love. This is the dad part I asked you. Your mom always shows you visible love. Your dad is a highly mistaken entity. Dads are always mistaken people. They can't show their love outside. They have to be tough. This is what I am advocating. So this is basically sort of a reverse, reverse belief or reverse mentorship. It's all good to be goody goody, but there are times your team needs you to be tough with them, to be a father and not just a mother. So with that, folks, very quickly, can you type in your energy level again? You started with a 1 or 2. Are you still at 1 or have you gone to 3? What are your energy levels? Start typing. High energy, 1. I hope your battery, some people have gone to 3. I am very sorry. Oh, that's disappointing. In fact, it is even more disappointing than people who don't like monkeys. All right. So I think I have made some points that are interesting to you. My expectation is at 8:31 when you close this meeting, you'll be able to walk home with at least one of these tough love tactics that you can implement, because that really shows that you care for your team. So thank you very much, folks. Thanks a lot for your time. And now the floor is open to questions. And I can switch my video on finally so you can see my handsome face. Thanks a lot.
Yes, Bhuvan. Thank you so much. Don't worry. The number of ones were more than the initial number of ones that you gained.
Beautiful.
Okay.
That's what you want.
And now for the question answers. For sure, everyone would have got great tips. But though seemingly it was a negative topic that was there initially, but then for sure we all understood why that was said so. Where are your queries now?
So my video is on now. So
Yes,
if you want to
we can
curse
see you.
someone, so if you want to curse someone, this is the face you can attach to it. So let me see. The angle is really good.
Yes. No queries as such. So that means everybody is agreeing with you to be a tough PM, but at the same time motivating the teams. Anybody else?
Yeah, I mean, it is just some few comments from my side. Hi, Bhuvan. This is Jay from Bosch
Hi.
again. Yeah, we have spoken earlier, and I know it's a typical session from Bhuvan. Yeah, I was expecting something of this sort, and yeah, I mean, yeah, and yeah, it is nice to know. In fact, I have listened to some of your previous sessions, but not of this one. I mean, but I have not listened to this one. You know, how to make your associates fail. So I was interested by the topic itself. That was a bit more catchy, and that's the reason I wanted to also attend this session. And yes, it was really good motivating. And you know, frankly, yes, when the start of the session, mine was actually 3, but still I gave 2, moderate level, battery level. but yeah, you make people even more active by the way you speak and with your high energy levels. And even at this time, come on, Bhuvan. Okay. So it's good to have your session, and thanks a lot once again. Yeah, Bhuvan.
Usually.
Thank you so much. Now, Bhuvan, you have one query from Jainaya. Is there any situation where this strategy doesn't work?
Many times, many times. For example, some team member comes and tells you, "Hey, Bhuvan, I'm feeling like leaving the team because the tasks are not challenging." You know that in the future there are some tasks. You give them a promise. Hey, wait for just a couple of months, you will get good tasks. If you are not able to keep that promise, it will not work. Credibility is the main thing. There are times when you think you are going to give your team members something better in the future, and if it doesn't work out, be honest. You proactively go and tell them, I promised you something a couple of months back, I am not able to give you, you take a call. So if the credibility is lost, definitely these are occasions when things will not work.
Very true. Anybody else? Any other queries? You made us all think with that topic there, a title there.
No, in fact, I can very quickly add one thing. See, your father usually, I don't know, millennial kids, us who were born in the 80s or even 90s, right? Whenever our father used to discipline us, we never felt bad. At that time, we used to be angry at our fathers, but today we are very grateful. So, why is that possible? Because our father has a credibility. And
True.
that's
There is
exactly.
somebody, Bhaskar, I believe, wants to hear something.
Thank you, Bhuvan. I am in your PMP aspirants group, and thank you from morning on. You are being in contact with me. Thank you so much for that. And just one small query. Though you have motivated the team, and the customer is demotivating your team, how do you bring back the team to their high energy levels?
Could you repeat because there is disturbance in on your side, Bhaskar?
See, though the team is motivated, okay, though the team is motivated, okay, though you try to motivate the team and suddenly your customers keep demotivating your team, and how do you really handle that again?
Beautiful. One of the tasks of a leader now in the agile world, right, Scrum Master or something, is to ensure that you shield your team from outside influences. So it's very important that as negative influences, be it from the customer or from the management or from other teams, it keeps flowing into your team. You have to stand between your team and outside influences. That's common sense. As a Scrum Master, for example, nowadays that's what you do. So you should actually stand between them. There will be lots of negative influences,
Okay.
yes, but this is why the continuous talk has to happen between you and your team. It's not just you meet them in one team meeting and you leave. So continuously this background chatter between you and your team has to keep going on. What I'm talking of is not just one or two occasions. And when you have this continuous chatter with your team going on, these negative influences will be mitigated. That's how you can keep them motivated.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah, Bhuvan, we have one more query. Like, did you have any bad experience while practicing this strategy?
Also, yes, definitely. Of course, one of the worst experiences repeatedly getting a negative score from my team, because the associate satisfaction surveys, they don't talk about the real impacts. They have standard set of questions. They straight away ask you, is your manager appreciating your efforts? Is your man? Are you going for outings? So these questions are usually blunt, and of course, the team members, if they have to be honest, they have to answer no. So these were very deceptive. So I all used to get pulled by my managers regularly, and we even had a so-called great place to work session. For example, certification for people managers. I failed it once, and they say it takes a lot of effort to fail in that. You need special talent to fail. I failed it because people used to say he is not coming to us for an outing. He does not come. It's not true, but completely. But so that is one. And many times people also used to come and tell me, Bhuvan, sometimes you can also do what the other managers are doing. And somehow I used to be stubborn in the early days. So that was one thing, how to say, the rapport with some of the newer team members. was not built so fast. It took time. The storming phase in team formation extended for a very long time. So this was a lesson learned.
Yes, very true. Because the strategy not all practices, so it's difficult for initially for everyone to accept it.
You must have the confidence in what you're doing. That's why I use the word higher purpose. You have a purpose that this is the reason you're doing it with your team, and you must be able to convey that purpose and vision to your team. Otherwise, it will be very difficult. People will start leaving, and yes, that's very important.
Yes. So team, I think we are almost there with the time. So any more queries? Or anybody wants to?
Yeah, one more question.
Yes,
Bhuvan,
please.
this is Lal. This is Lal, Bhuvan.
Hi, Lal.
One question. How the strategy will impact if the team is a cross-cultural team?
If it goes what?
If the team is a cross-cultural team.
Okay. Okay. See, when you say cross-cultural, if you're meaning across geographies, it will be very difficult. That's a warning. That's a disclaimer.
It can be a geographical difference. It can be a team formed within different organization. Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Very simple. It depends what is your span of control. And if it is a virtual team where people don't report to you, it will not work so well. My example was where every single team member working with me, 15 of them, or not 18 of them, they were also reporting to me. You cannot be in a projectized or a strong matrix organization where people don't line report to you. It may not work very well because sometimes you have to also work very closely with them at a personal level, and usually in project-based organizations, it's not so easy. It's very difficult.
Thank you, Bhuvan. The session was very good. Very nice. Very knowledgeable. Thank you so much.
Thank you all. I think we have already come to the last session. I have typed in the claim code in the chat box. You can all note it is C3162SAKK1.